Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Welcome back to another episode of Voice of Youth. Today we have started this episode itself, kind of on an impromptu episode, something that surprised me when I was scrolling through Facebook, and I mean surprised in a good way, not in surprise as in like a bad way, because one of our local Singh's young boy has been selected for the under-15s Victorian state team for hockey, which is really cool to see, and his name is Harbariq Singh. So I've invited him onto Voice of Youth to talk about his journey into hockey, his interest in hockey as a whole, and what's planned for him in the future, because this is such a wonderful experience for a Sikh to represent Sikhs in the hockey, and also for such a young local talent to be, this talented. So without further ado, let's introduce Harbariq and get into the conversation itself.
Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa.
Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. So Harbariq, let's get straight into it, because I'm sure you're very happy. I'm sure your parents are very happy. Everyone's very excited. I remember when I saw this post on Facebook that everyone was congratulating you. How do you feel in general right now, like with your whole hockey experience? How do you feel?
Yeah, I'm really happy with it. My hockey experience has been going really well throughout the years, and just want to do better most of the time. So I think it's going well.
Yeah. So when did you get into hockey? Because you said over the years, what started your interest in the hockey? Did you watch it one day when it was like on the Olympics or something, or were you your parents, or what was it?
So my dad, he used to play in college back in India. He used to play hockey, and so he just stopped playing ever since he came back to Australia, because there wasn't many hockey pitches around here back then. So then what happened was there was this banner or something at the Gurdwara about a new hockey club and a new hockey pitch in Craigieburn. So my dad saw it and he was interested, and he wanted to put me in it because he used to play the sport himself. So what happened after that was I joined that club and we played here in Craigieburn, and then that's where my journey started.
Yeah, so how many years ago was that then?
Around 5 or 6 years ago.
5 or 6 years. Wow. Okay, so that's a pretty decent amount of years that's been going on for. Is it?
Yeah.
Has it always been the Falcons that the club is?
No, it used to be the club that I first joined, and then that club sort of broke up, and we went to Craigieburn Falcons, and then separate club, Untitled Chapter, and we moved towards Craigieburn Falcons.
Oh, yeah. So we'll talk about Craigieburn Falcons then, since that's the most recent club you are part of. What's it like being in a club? What's the environment like? The people that you're with? Was it easy to kind of get in there and just start picking things up? Because did you play hockey with your dad just at the home? Maybe he had a hockey stick or two just lying around, so you just hit a ball around or anything?
Yeah, we didn't have any hockey sticks back then. We first purchased one when we joined the first club. And then when the club split up, we went to the separate club where my dad and some of his friends founded. So what happened was I was friends with my dad's friends, their children. I was friends with them, and really good friends. So we got along really well, and we started playing matches in leagues, and we won a premiership in 2018, and then in 2017 we were in the grand final, but we lost. And I think just the group of us, as juniors, we were good friends, and we just played for fun and to win, of course. Yeah.
Right. So I'll pop up some photos that we have here of you playing as well, and we'll get into maybe you could share with us what. Sorry, wrong one there. Maybe you could share with us what position you play in, and the jersey you're wearing here. Is this for the hockey club, or is this for maybe school?
This is for the Victorian hockey team, this jersey. We went to Hobart. This is when I was selected in the under-13s, which was in 2018 as well, I'm pretty sure. And so this was in Hobart, and I played around right wing, left wing at that time. So I played up in the forward line, and I was pretty young back then. I was underage for the under-13s as well. I was 12 years old, playing in an under-13 league. So,
yeah. I remember hearing about this as well when you joined the under 13s team. And that's really big. You joined the under 13s, now you're in the under 15s. And you played right and left wing, or was it just one of the wings?
It was both. So like sometimes we couldn't call the person to bring from the other side of the pitch to sub, so we just went on for the closest wing or winger there.
Yeah. So would that have been easy then? Because you're right-handed, like we can tell in the photo here as well. If you were on the left wing, that would have been difficult then to play, right?
I think playing both positions was easy, but on the left was, I'd say, a little bit harder than the right, because the right, you're obviously right-handed going in towards the goals, and the left, you're like right-handed trying to cut in through another way. So like we use the side of the stick, which is like on the side, or like a tommer, so like just tommer it in, and I think I was pretty good at tommers back then, so I just used that as an advantage on the left side.
So how did it go with the under 13s team? What did you do when you were playing? You said in Hobart, correct?
Yeah, it was in Hobart. So yeah, it was the Australian national championship. Victoria itself came first out of all those states. Of course, my team didn't come first. I think it was the other team that came first. But our team didn't really come last. We came like around in the middle of the ladder, which was pretty good. Yeah.
Hey, so that was your first professional sort of environment with hockey?
I had this junior state championship in Victoria, so that's for like different regions. Like it was called JSC, and like it was like people from like Greensboro, Craigieburn, like all part, like a few suburbs in like one area, one distinguished area between other areas. And I was playing in the Red Devils back then for under 13s as well, and I was 11 turning 12, so I was pretty young as well back then. And yeah, so that was where my professional career started.
Yeah, you're very much like a prodigy, starting off younger than you should be in the actual group itself.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've touched on some of your playing for under 13s, like you just mentioned as well, the JFC, was it?
JSC, yeah, JSC.
JSC it was. So for school as well, do you play hockey for the school team, and do you verse other schools, or is hockey just something outside of school?
House sports day, and that we participated in hockey, and I would say won by a mile because there wasn't much players, and they were like new to hockey itself. So yeah, and yeah, just an outside of school thing.
Right, so just an outside of school thing, yeah. So then with the local club league, when gameplay will you go out and, you know, like is it a regular every Sunday that you go out and do one of the games for the league that happens?
Right now we have like a summer league team, so which we're playing in summer, and we play every Sundays. So recently I just played for the A team, which is like all the really, really good adults in our club, which are playing near the Premier League and League One of Hockey Victoria. So I joined them, and we lost that game. The other team was really strong. We lost 4-2, and then we played in a D game straight after. Like after that match, we just drove straight back to Essendon and just played a game there. And as we entered the pitch, I scored a goal because like it was still 0-0. Like the game just started. Scored a goal. Really happy about that. And then just it was good fun. And we have trainings from Wednesdays to Sundays. So we have like training on Wednesday and then on Sunday as well.
Right. Yeah. So like speaking of that goal that you scored, then how are you a goal scorer, or do you mostly try to set up, because like you said you were a wing, so would you be taking the corners and doing all those kind of stuff as well?
So I only played wing in the under 13 Hobart team. I've been changing positions a lot recently, and it's like at the start I was like forward, like in the forward line, like centre forward, left wing, right wing, could play anywhere in the forward line, and then I moved back to like a half because I run a lot like during a game, and like my passing and everything has had improved since my forward line. So I used to play centre half then, and then after that I like now in the under 15s I'm playing around back, so I'm playing like right back, left back, centre back, those three positions.
Right. So you really are everywhere then.
Yeah, I've played everywhere you could play.
Have you ever thought of actually trying out for like a goalie, so that way you can also just tick that off the list?
Yeah, I used to play goalie as well. I had a choice to either become a player or a goalkeeper, and thanks to the person that said influenced me to become a player. So I would have been a goalkeeper right now if it wasn't for that person. And yeah, I used to play goalkeeper as well.
Right. So do you have because you've been a bit of everywhere, do you have a favorite position that you've played?
Yeah, centre half I think is that's like the backbone of the team. Like you control the game, and like you need to run a lot for that position, and you touch the ball quite a bit as well. So everyone would like a position where they would get most of the ball, like get a ball, and yeah, I think that was my favourite position. Still play that position in the juniors though, so which is
right.
Nice. Yeah.
So before we get into talking about the under 15 as well, I just wanted to mention I saw on the Falcons webpage that they have these annual awards and stuff like that. And then I have one image here of you receiving an award. Let me just quickly get that up as well. I don't know if you'd be able to recall when this took place. But then do you remember what this award was for?
Yeah, that was a long time ago. I think that was in 2018, our second annual anniversary. And I think that award itself was for getting selected into the state team. And there was like two other people from our club that got selected, but they weren't in the juniors. I think I was the only junior that made it from my club. There were seniors like 35 plus, 40 plus, and I was the only kid that got selected on my club.
The only junior to be selected. That's quite the achievement then. So then, actually, one other thing I want to quickly ask before we get into the under 15s thing that you're currently in. Injuries are a huge part of hockey, I'm sure. Have you ever had like a severe injury? Like maybe you've been hit with a ball or a stick, or because when people swing pretty hard, I imagine, stuff can happen.
I don't say I would have too many severe injuries. I've probably only had 2 or 1. My dad's had a lot more than me. He's got like stitches here, up here. It's a dangerous sport, really dangerous sport. I recall this moment. We were playing for like a Diwali Cup. It was hosted by our club, and we were just practicing for a game. And I was helping the keeper behind the goals, so set up and everything. And I was on the ground putting on his pads and everything. And my friend, he hit the ball really hard. Went onto my knee, it swelled up and everything. I couldn't walk for 3 days. And this was like just before we were going to go to India and everything. So I had to go in like a wheelchair to the airport, which was kind of fun. But yeah, I had to keep it elevated and everything. It did hurt at the time. I think it's much better now than it was then.
Yeah, no, I hope so. It'd be much better by now. Yeah, especially corners and all those kind of things as well. You got to rush into the ball when the enemy team, the opponent, they're not too far from you. They're just off the circle or something like that. When they go into the shot, I'd imagine that'd be such a high risk area. I think I asked this earlier, but I can't remember. Do you often take those? Because when you're playing full back or something, you'd be with the goalie and you're charging in.
So in the state team, I'm one of the runners, or I might just stay at the post. I'm not sure yet. We're just I'm a defender right now, so I'm gonna be running or gonna be with the goalkeeper in those penalty corners. And you're gonna need a lot of equipment like face masks, a box, gloves, everything. But normally I would take the penalty corners instead of running out for them. I'd normally take them, running out.
Nice, sweet. Well, then let's get into the big news that came up. Obviously, is the under 15 teams itself. There was this photo that was posted, and this is how I found out because I saw this on Facebook. And once again, a huge congratulations. Thank you. Said, you were in the under 13s, now you're in the under 15s, and 13 years old. So once again, another underage selection, which is really cool. So let's get straight and talk about this. What was it like what did you do to get selected? Was it just someone was down watching you from the under 13s game when you were playing in Hobart? or was it someone was watching you play locally? What was the situation like?
What happens there is that there was this academy held for like people that would play state, and so like this was first in the under 13s one because I was underage and playing in the under 13s, and all the others they were going to be turning 14, like going older than the age limit. So I went into the under 13 academy, and so I was playing there, and then they would choose the best people in the under 13 academy to move on to the 15 academy. So then from there, I moved on to the under 15 academy to just play there. And then from there, there was like 10 weeks of just training, and I believe it was 10 weeks of training, and we would like hold training sessions like twice a week, and then afterwards they would move on to trials for like the state team, because like you'd have to fill in a form like, oh, I'm trying out the state team and everything after the academy. So there was some new players that didn't have the chance to make it to the academy. They made it into the trials, 60 players in it, and then they would cut down every trial. They would cut down like 10 players. So yeah, it's like in the end there would only be around 32, which is like 2 full teams, which is 16 and 16, 2 teams. And yeah, I was fortunate enough to be selected in the second team.
So where's the academy, in Victoria, or is it in another state?
It's here in Victoria at the State Netball Hockey Centre, which is in the city, and that's where the academy was held.
Right. So that's what you had to go through to get into the under 15 team itself. So then on the actual photo itself, it also mentioned a championship happening in April, I believe. So what's happening with that? What's the plan there?
So we're going to be like in April. I believe it's from the 9th of April. So on the 8th, we're going to be getting a plane here from the airport and flying to Sydney, like with the team and everything, not with our parents. Our parents should come on like a different flight or by car, I'm not sure. So we're just gonna fly off to Sydney, and from Sydney we're gonna hire like a van or something, and then from there we're gonna be driving to Bathurst, because Bathurst is in west of Sydney, on like the countryside. And from there we're gonna like book some rooms and cabins for like the players, and from there we're going to be like our championship will start.
And this is against other Australian teams then, like so the different states?
Yeah, they would be against other different states that would be there, and we're just going to be having a championship.
Will there be like intense training or anything like that of the sorts?
So yeah, we're having for the under 15 training, we're having I'm having one tonight on Wednesdays, and then on Sundays in the morning. So they're pretty intense trainings, I'd say, like 2 hours. I think we have a practice match today against another team. So we recently had one against the under 18 girls state team, and like they were all like basically adults, and they were like really good. So I think we lost 3-0 there. That was like our first team meeting together, so like we didn't really have much chemistry between ourselves. And from there on, like we'd have trainings for like 2 hours and 30 minutes, roundabouts in the mornings and afternoons. Yeah.
Are you nervous about going to Bathurst? And like, do you think it's going to be different from when you went to Hobart and you played there when you were younger? Are you excited? Are you like, you can't wait to go beyond your limits in a sense?
I don't think so. I think that I was like pretty nervous before, like in the trials. I'm like, oh, I hope I make it. And of course I made a lot of friends during the academy, and like some were from my under 13s team already, from like my from Hobart. It's like I knew most of them, and made a couple of new friends, and then from there so we're going to Bathurst and everything. I think that hopefully I get like a cabin with some of my mates, and then from there like it'll be good fun.
It's an experience beyond playing hockey as well, right? Because you get to you're going, essentially a free trip to Bathurst. You get to hang out with your friends, and like in between, there's always that downtime as well. You get to. Is there downtime, or is it always really intense doing all this?
There is the downtime. So like so we'd have 7 days of just hockey, like having 2 games a day, I believe. And then on one day, like if your family has come and everything, that you can just have like a day out with them, like, go wherever you like in Sydney or wherever you're traveling. So last time in Hobart, my dad came with me, so just my dad, not my mom or sister or anyone else from the family. So what happened was we took like a break on the break day, and we went like around Tasmania, like looking at different sites and everything. And I think that was the downtime between like the intense games and everything.
That's really cool to hear. So, I think this was really cool, like just to hear, your journey, some of your experiences while playing hockey itself. And one thing before we actually finish off this episode, what's your plan for the future? Do you plan on continuing to go to the academies after the under 15s right now and keep on trying to push up to get through each of the, I don't know where the categories split, but like through each category of the hockey group, or what's the plan?
Yeah, I want to, of course, get better at hockey. I want to get to the top level, play for Australia. It would be good to represent my culture, my religion, like in the world. So that would be really nice. But yeah, I definitely want to improve, get to higher levels from the under 15s. So I'm going to be playing under 15s next year as well, because I'm turning 14 this year, and therefore, like, I think I'll be in like a higher team, because I would be older then, and like there would be younger players coming up, and I'd be like one of the older ones they look up to and everything. So yeah, I want to get better, and then from there to the under 18s, then under 21s, and then hopefully Australia.
That sounds like a really cool plan. A lot of people are there, supporting you. Yeah, it was a pleasure to talk, to see some of your journey and experiences, of playing hockey and what you want to do in the future. So to all the audiences out there, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Make sure you go, show some support for Harbariq and all the other youth out there playing hockey. So yeah, hopefully, please, you've enjoyed this video. Leave a like, leave a comment, like the video, and follow for more episodes. Harbariq, is there anything you'd like to close out with? Is some friends you want to give a shout out to or something? I don't know.
Oh, I think they would probably harass me after like not giving shout out to one of my other friends. So I'd like to say I'm really grateful for this opportunity, and being able to come on this beautiful channel and like talking about my journey so far in hockey. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, well, thanks for joining, Harbariq. To all the audiences out there, to Harbariq himself, thank you.
Bye.